Hi guys, it's Angie with Fun Endeavors Tie-Dye Lab. Today let's make a colander spiral ice dye. I have the shirt laying down flat on my table and I have it with the front part of the shirt against the table. So what you're seeing is the back of the shirt. I'm using a washable marker and I'm going to make a mark where I'd like to start the center of the spiral. And normally I like to start spirals just a little bit below the armpit of the shirt. I'm using a pair of locking tweezers. I'm going to lock them onto that mark that I made and place a microwavable splatter guard that has a hole in the center over the top of the locking tweezers. I'm placing the flat side of the splatter guard against the fabric, and as I turn the locking tweezers, I'm going to use my other hand and form additional folds in the spiral. Putting the flat side of the microwavable splatter guard against the fabric is going to help keep all of those folds that I'm forming by twisting the locking tweezers about the same size or height. Normally though, the side of the shirt that is against the table, which in this case is the front side of the shirt, it normally ends up with the prettiest folds. So that's the reason why I place the front side of the shirt against the table. When I go to apply the dye, I'm going to turn the shirt over and apply the dye to that front part of the shirt. Now that the shirt is spiraled, I'm going to slide it off the edge of the table and onto a metal shelf. I'm going to take a colander and place it right in the center of the spiral, take another metal shelf and place it over the top of the colander, and then turn this whole thing upside down so that now what you're seeing is the front of the shirt on top of the colander. Then I'm going to place the shelf down inside of a plastic tote before I begin applying the dye. For this shirt, I've chosen some green colors, and I'm kind of trying to add in a couple more yellow-green colors and a couple blue-green colors. Before I begin applying the dye, I'm going to use a washable marker, and I'm going to make an X going right through the center of the spiral. I'm going to use these as guidelines to apply the dye. All the colors that I'm using today are from Dharma Trading Company. And the first color I'm going to use is Hunter Green. It's more of a blue-green color. I'm going to apply the hunter green on one of the lines that I just drew on the shirt, followed by avocado. Then I'm going to use olive drab, and I'm going to finish with sage green. So both the hunter green and the olive drab are darker colors of green, and the avocado and the sage are more mild colors of green. And I tried to put the two mild colors across from each other on the spiral and the two darker colors across from each other on the spiral. Once I have the dye on the shirt, I'm going to apply a little bit of additional dry soda ash over the top, and then I'm going to take a colander exactly like the one that the shirt is on, fill it with ice, and place that on top. I've found that this is one of the more stable ways to do these colander dyes. I learned this from Scott Walker from Rad Dyes, and it's a great way to make it more stable where it just doesn't fall over. I've included some photos of what the shirt looked like as the ice was melting. And once all this layer of ice was melted, the dye had gone all the way to the edges of the shirt, so I just left it alone. I took the colander, placed it inside of a plastic tote, put the lid on the tote, and then I placed it outside to allow it to process for about 24 to 48 hours. Then to rinse it, I took it to my utility sink and I began rinsing in cold water to rinse out the soda ash. I then went ahead and warmed the water up to hot and continued rinsing in hot water to try to rinse out the excess dye that didn't bond with the fabric. Instead of rinsing for a long time, I decided to go ahead and soak the shirt. So to do that, I placed the shirt along with some Blue Dawn dish soap inside of my utility sink, added some really hot water, and just allowed the shirt to soak. When the water cooled off, I changed it out and I continued that soaking process until my water was remaining almost clear. Then I placed the shirt along with some Dharma's professional textile detergent into my washing machine, and I washed it using a hot water cycle. Okay, so the shirt has been washed, dried, and ironed, and let's see what it looks like. Okay, so what do you guys think? I think this one turned out really cool. I used some greens that I haven't used for a while. It's been quite a while since I've used hunter green, and I actually think that is one of Dharma's special order colors. You can still get it from Dharma, but you have to order large quantities. Otherwise, you can usually find it on a Facebook group called Tie-Dye Supplies Marketplace. I've left a link to that Facebook group down below this video in the description. People out there buy the special order colors in large quantities, and then they repackage them down into smaller quantities to sell. The hunter green is the more blue-green color that you see. It's the one that's the most prominent right in the very center of the spiral. The color that's down at the bottom, I think that's avocado. Again, I haven't used that one in a really long time, but I think that's about the only one that I had that would split out that much kind of yellow chartreuse type color. The color that is over on one sleeve is olive drab, and on the other sleeve is the sage green. Well, it's not just all sage green. It is part of the hunter green as well, kind of mixing with the sage and filling in that other sleeve. So I really like that combination, how the sage and the hunter kind of mix together and the splits that are going down that one side of the shirt. And I do love the color splits in this one. And I love the dye flow. You know, that's the thing I think that makes a colander spiral so cool is the dye flow, how it just flows out at the edges of the shirt. It's been a long time since I've used my avocado. Is it supposed to be this light? I don't know whether my avocado green, I should have gone heavier on it, or if it was just, I don't know. I don't remember it being quite this light and quite this yellow. So if you're used to using avocado green, let me know. Is mine a little bit light, or is this the way it always looks? I don't know, but honestly, I think that lighter kind of yellowy green really kind of draws my eye to that area. I think it looks kind of interesting in there. It's a little bit more unexpected. I wasn't expecting it to be that light, and I think it's kind of fun that it is. But like I said, if you guys are used to using avocado, please let me know. I don't know whether maybe my avocado is a little too old and I need to replace it, because I remember it being a little bit darker. But anyway, I like it. Please drop me some comments down below and let me know what you guys think about it. Do you like it, not like it? Let me know about the avocado for sure. And if you've enjoyed the video, I sure would appreciate it if you would like it and if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you'll hit the bell, you'll receive a notification whenever I upload a new video. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day.